Hi, I'm Peter Keep from Jewellery Training Solutions. These are the Ezi-Set pliers that make stone setting a breeze. Check it out.
In this video I'll show you how to create this flower pattern, but there are lots of different types of settings that you can create with the Ezi-Set pliers. So here's just some of them, and you can even do a bezel setting with a frilled edge like this. The pliers come with 3 extra screw tips that can easily be fashioned for different setting designs. To change them over, just unscrew the nut. But the main thing is to give the tip a nice polish. So to do that, I'm just going to use my cotton mop. So you can double nut this one if you wish, but you don't need a lot of pressure for what I'm going to show you now, so just the single nut will do the job. It's really important to not let the tip get loose whilst you're working with it. For the demonstration I'll use this brass ring. It's 6.7mm wide. You can make your own, but I do supply them in the Jewellery Training Solutions shop. They're cheap as chips and they come with stones as well, so you get 2.25mm CZs. Now you can use any size stone for this technique. Just make sure that the setting burr is exactly the same size as the stone. So I'll start off by just putting a very small divot in the ring blank, and this is just using the 1mm ball burr. So any size will do, it's just a matter of steadying the drill, making sure it doesn't wobble off track. And I'll drill through with a 1.2mm drill. So you can use any drill between 1mm and 1.4mm. And for this one I'm going to drill all the way through. These ring blanks are 2mm thick, so you don't really have to, it's just I want to show you how secure the stone is once I've finished. So I'll be poking it from underneath to prove that. So to open the setting out, I'm using a 1.8mm ball burr. So anything between 1.7 and 1.9 will be fine for this. And just run it into the setting around about 3/4 of the way in. Now if this was for a commission job, then get rid of the flashing on the inside there. Now, as I said earlier, we're using a 2.25mm CZ, so it's really important that you get the right size setting burr. So the setting burr is tapered at the end and it's got the straight sides there. And the pack that this came from was a 2.2mm pack, and when you measure a burr, you should always measure your burrs before you start. Give it a twist like that, and you can see that it just about comes up to the 2.25mm reading there. So this is the right burr size for this setting job. If you're using a different size stone, obviously match up the size of your setting burr to the size of the stone. Now if you've got a setting burr that's just a little bit smaller, that's fine. It's just a matter of whirling it around a little bit once it's you've got the seating depth right, and just keep test fitting your stone. So what we're going to do now is run the burr into the setting, and I'm just dabbing my burr into some Pro Cut to keep it lubricated, and it gives the burr a bit more life as well. And it's really important to keep your burring dead straight like that, and dead straight like that, otherwise your stone will be tilting. Now the other important thing is to run the burr in until half of the straight part of the burr, this part here, so half of it needs to be in the setting. And I'll show you how the setting looks under the microscope.
Okay, hopefully you can see that seating cut line on the inside of the setting. I'll just put the stone in and you can see how much gap there is between the setting rim and the crown of the stone.
So there's a little bit of flashing that's been dragged up from the burring, so I just want to get rid of that first. So I just run my buck stick over and clear out the setting, put the stone back in. And I'll give it a push with my brass pusher and make sure that it's straight. So just have a look at the setting side on like so, and you should just see the table of the stone. Hopefully you can see that. So that is the correct depth. You can probably see it better that way for the stone. So if it was any lower than that, it'll be sunk into the setting. It's what I call a punch setting, which can look quite good in certain cases, but the problem is that dirt will collect around the rim of the setting, so it's really important to minimise that ridge there on the inside. So now I'm going to show you how easy these pliers are to use. So if it's the first time you've done this, then it's always a good idea just give yourself 4 little markings to work from. So you can just use your scribe, and that will help to keep everything nice and even. We've got our north, south, east, west going on there, and now with the nylon part of the pliers go under the setting, and this protects the setting so you don't have any tool marks there. And just get the tip of the screw tip onto the stone and just run it towards the edge of the setting, and you just feel some resistance there. So all you want to do is just come off that onto the surface of the ring, and then just give it a little squeeze, not much. Just do that again, little squeeze, and you're going to even just run it up to the setting, push the metal up towards the stone.
So there you can see the metal pushed onto the stone there.
And now for the opposite side, I'll just again just find that ridge, and I've got it there, and just pull the tooltip back a fraction and then a bit of a squeeze, and once you're happy that it's in the right place, you can just come back a bit more, give it a bit more of a squeeze and a push, and that's 2 done. Just done a little scratch there, so I'll get rid of that. One of the hardest things about this type of setting is getting the marking in the right place, so it's a good idea just to come back and just make a little impression on the side of the setting and make sure you're happy with where that is, and then you can just come back off the setting on the rim and then just give it a squeeze. Okay, last one. So what I'll do with this last one is I'll just make sure I'm in the right position, then I'll go under the microscope and just show you how it looks, and you'll also see how the metal's been pushed onto the stone.
Okay, you can clearly see how the metal has moved towards the stone, and now that I know that that divot there is in the right place, I'll just give that a squeeze and you'll see how the metal pushes up towards the stone, and that's pretty much it. I just want to tidy up these shapes, and what I'll also do is put little pressings between these 4. I'll just give you a chance to look at that first.
So you can see that looks pretty neat as is, and I just want to show you how secure the stone is. So I'll put a small ball burr inside the setting from underneath, and I'm giving it a really good push, and that isn't going to come out. I probably have to break the stone to get it out. So now I'm going to finish off this, although you could leave it like that, it looks neat enough like that, but I just want to show you how to decorate it further if you feel the need to. So we don't really need to do any more securing of the stone, so this can be just decoration. So what I'm doing is just make sure the screw is tight. So I'm coming back a little bit further than the first time around, and I'm going to just run the tool up to the edge of the setting, so it's just going to be a line going up to the setting. And again, just back barely half a mil, and then just run it very carefully up to the edge of the setting. Just tidy that up a bit. And you can hear it click as it touched the stone, but there's hardly any pressure there, so it's quite safe to do this with most stones anyway. Anything soft, then I'd be very careful about making that contact. And that's it. I'm just going to go over the first 4 that I did just to tidy them up, and I'll give you a chance to have a look. Okay. And that's one of the many pressure setting designs that you can create using the Ezi-Set pliers.